Alright, y'all. It's been a great year, but as you can see, it's time to clean it up. Some of this stuff is still going, but I'm about to do a complete redo, so I'm gonna get this all cleaned up and then we'll work on getting set up for next year. One of the most important things you could be doing this fall is cleaning out the garden. After your summer run, you want to go ahead and pull all of your plants out, dead stuff, especially if you have watermelon vines like this. And this right here is why. If you try to compost those vines, leave them over the winter, these squash bugs will nest in them and they will be everywhere next season. So you want to burn those, send them out in the city waste, whatever you do with them, get rid of them. So now we're just cutting down a couple okra plants. We're gonna go ahead and knock out all of this stuff. Some of it's not dead, still going a little bit, as you can see from these tomatoes here. But we're gonna go ahead and clear this stuff because we've got big plans and we're gonna need some time to kind of get everything ready for next season. So here we go. And now that we've got most of that cleared out, it's time to move on to step 2, which is cover cropping. Okay, real quick, just so y'all can get an idea. So last year we had watermelon here and there, and we let them grow all out here. Well, the way I plan on changing this up, this bed over here, we're taking this one completely out. This bed right here is now gonna go long ways. So that way, and then we're gonna get another bed just like this, and it's gonna go down this way. And now all of this whole entire area is gonna be watermelon, but it's gonna be plants, and they're gonna actually go out into the yard and whatnot. So what we're doing is we wanna cover crop all of this. Pretty much anywhere you see the black tarp or the dirt, we're gonna cover crop it, because what's gonna happen is next year we're gonna come in here, we're gonna just lay manure on top of it and compost, and we're gonna plant right into it. So let's get started. Okay, so now we're gonna get in here and loosen this dirt up a little bit, because we put tarps down here last season. Nothing was grown in this area, so it's pretty bare. It's been stepped on a lot, really compact. That's the whole point of me going in here. I'm gonna try to nurse it back to health, since we're gonna be using this whole entire plot for watermelon next year. Not really breaking it up too heavy. It might look like it because it's so sped up, but we're just knocking off that top layer, loosening it up, so that when we go in and put our cover crop in, we're getting good soil contact. Everything's able to kind of just make its way down in there. We don't want a compact soil for that cover crop. So that's what we're doing now, just kind of breaking it up, preparing it for the cover crop, and then we'll move on to the seeding. Be sure to research cover crops, okay? This is not a guide for cover crop planting at all. This is just a recommendation. You really need to research cover crops before you use them, because you need the proper cover crop for what you're trying to do. There's different cover crops for different situations, different methods of removing the cover crop when you're ready. You really need to be up on all that stuff before you do it. Okay, so we ordered this pre-made mix because there's just too many options out there. I didn't want to put all this together myself, so you see what they've got in it right there. I knew I wanted winter peas, which was a big one for me, and cereal rice, so kind of just picked one that I knew has some things I needed in it, and yep, so let's get it planted. Okay, now I did lose my seeder, so I'm gonna be using a cup. I know, right? How do you lose a seeder? I don't know, but it's gone. So we're just using a cup, and you wanna get it pretty heavy. Get it pretty heavy. You want that cover crop to be exactly what it says, a cover. So you want it to be in there pretty heavily. So y'all see we got them pretty heavily seeded. Not too crazy, but you see we've got a pretty good amount. You want to have them evenly in there. Pretty heavy is the goal, but you don't want them overly heavy, of course. And now we're just gonna go ahead and rake them on in. And now we just gonna give it a good water, obviously. Get everything wet. It's supposed to rain all the next week, so it's pretty much why I did it right now. We won't need a whole lot of watering, but we gotta give it one good initial watering. All right, so now that it's all watered in, y'all don't really have to do this step, but I like to just put a little bit of leaf mulch on top. Leaf mulch is one of those things that I just swear by, honestly. Like, I cover up everything with leaf mulch, and it works, so I do it. But yeah, anyway, now we'll just give this about 5 to, I'd say, 10 days for everything to pop completely out. We'll come back and we'll view the results. All right, so our cover crop is in. Now it's time to move on to number 3, which is planting fall crops. Okay, so y'all remember when we got our last harvest of purple potatoes? I put a couple up in the closet. Well, here they are. You see they're starting to sprout a little bit, so perfect. We're gonna go ahead and put them to use. All right, so y'all see we got our purple potatoes in there.